You know, I used to spend 99% of my energy trying to control the 1% of my life that was actually controllable, from rewriting my to-do list a dozen times a day to secretly hoping my friends would make what I thought were the right decisions. My life was just a tight, suffocating knot of anxiety. I thought control meant safety, that if I could just manage every single detail, I'd finally feel at peace. But it wasn't peace, it was a cage. So I decided to do something that terrified me. For 1 week, I gave up control completely, and the freedom I found on the other side was something I never thought was possible. For as long as I can remember, I've been a professional micromanager of my own life and honestly of the lives of the people around me. Now, this didn't come from a bad place. It came from fear. That need for control was really just high anxiety, desperately trying to feel safe. My brain worked on one rule. If I can anticipate every problem, optimize every plan, and influence every outcome, I can stop bad things from happening. My digital calendar was a masterpiece of anxiety, color-coded down to 15-minute increments. A coffee with a friend wasn't just a coffee, it was a project. Pre-planned routes to avoid traffic, conversation topics ready in case of awkward silence. In my mind, that wasn't crazy, that was being prepared. But in reality, it was exhausting. In my relationships, the same pattern showed up. I tried to fix everyone's problems. I gave advice nobody asked for. And when people didn't take it, I felt frustrated. I wasn't really listening to my friends. I was listening for a problem to solve. And in trying to control situations, I was actually poisoning my relationships. The emotional toll was huge, a constant hum of tension under everything. Because that's what anxiety really is, a fear of the future and disappointment in the present. I was trying to control the uncontrollable, and it left me utterly drained. I wasn't living, I was just managing. The breaking point came on a random Tuesday. I had spent a week planning a surprise dinner for a close friend. 10 people, her favorite restaurant, even pre-ordered her favorite appetizer. It was perfect. It was controlled. And then, an hour before dinner, she called. She was exhausted from work and just wanted to stay home, order pizza, and watch a movie. And I just snapped. Not at her, but inside. All that effort, all that control, gone in a second. Standing in my kitchen, surrounded by decorations for a party that wasn't happening, I finally saw the absurdity of it all. My obsession with control had made me completely miss the point. That was it. I couldn't live like that anymore. So, I made an experiment. 1 week of radical surrender. I wrote 5 rules on a sticky note and put it on my bathroom mirror. Rule 1, I won't try to influence anyone's decisions. Rule 2, I'll accept no as a full sentence. Rule 3, if plans change, I'll go with the flow. Rule 4, no advice unless asked. Rule 5, I'll leave parts of my day completely unscheduled. Looking at that list was terrifying, but for the first time, the fear of staying the same was bigger than the fear of change. Day 1 was excruciating. A co-worker emailed me saying they'd be late on a project. The old me would have immediately reworked the entire schedule. Instead, I just typed, "Okay, thanks for letting me know," and hit send. Day 2, a group chat about button if you've ever felt trapped by your own need to control everything. Around day 4, something shifted. Not a lightning bolt, just a quiet sunrise. We went to that restaurant. The service was slow, but this time I didn't care. Instead of checking my watch, I got lost in the conversation. We laughed until we cried, and I realized my constant need to optimize everything had been robbing me of joy. Day 5, a friend called upset about work. The old me would have gone full problem solver, but I remembered the rule, no advice unless asked. So I just listened. After 20 minutes, she said, "Wow, I think I just figured it out. Thank you for listening." By letting go, I gave her space to find her own strength. By day 7, the anxiety that had followed me for years was quieter. The world felt open again. After the week ended, I realized something profound. The peace I'd been chasing through control, I found it through surrender. Control is an illusion. Trying to manage every detail is like trying to bottle the wind. It doesn't work. Real peace comes when you stop fighting reality and start trusting yourself to handle it. True connection happens when you let people be who they are. Happiness grows when you stop clinging to outcomes and start living in the flow. If you want to try this yourself, you don't need a whole week. Start small. Let your partner pick the movie. Go for a walk without a plan. Then try Mel Robbins' Let Them theory. When you feel that urge to control, just say, "Let them." It's not passive, it's powerful. And finally, get curious about your fear. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid will happen if I don't control this? You'll be surprised how often the answer is nothing. This little experiment changed my life. I still love a plan, but that anxious grip I used to have, it's gone. Letting go isn't giving up, it's giving in to a wiser, calmer, more trusting version of life. True freedom isn't about controlling everything, it's about learning to flow with it. So, what's one thing you can let go of this week? Leave it in the comments, and let's do this together.